we're going to talk about pretty privilege, aka the term the internet has coined to describe the benefits associated with conforming to societal beauty ideals. It's conditional. Think white, thin, cisgendered, young, non-disabled figures. Let me be blunt. We live in a shallow society, superficial and appearance fixated. The aesthetic is pretty much all we care about. And that's a serious problem with its hierarchy of traits deemed the most important. IQ of 100? Completely indifferent. Caring, honest, brave? Eh. The physical embodiment of a Barbie doll? See, now we're talking. Welcome back to Tea Time, everybody. I know that was a little bit of a downer, but here we are. I am back again with a longtime co-host. You might remember the wonderful, admirable Paco.
Hello, I have returned.
It's been a minute since we've done Tea Times.
It has been a hot minute. Well, I mean, you see, I went through a minor change of turning myself into a cat. Taking a little getting used to, but, you know, here we are.
Here we are. So, Paco and I both saw the Barbie movie. And Paco and I both have positive, annotations with it, because me personally, I went into the Barbie movie expecting maybe a C or a C plus as far as movies goes. I was pleasantly surprised to walk out of the movie theater with it was at least an A.
Why you booing me? I'm right.
Yeah, I fully agree. And, I wouldn't characterize it as a movie that, I have I'm going to see this over and over again. But it is definitely a movie where I have this needs to be watched. You need to catch it at least once.
Now, if you've been on my channel for a while, I did make a video poking fun at Ben Shapiro and his bad media critique of the Barbie movie. I know that's
that was an incredibly bad review by Mr. Sharpie.
Here's the thing. This movie was not predominantly aimed at mothers and their very young, impressionable little girls. This movie is rated PG-13 for a reason. You gotta be at least 13 to catch 99% of the jokes.
Yeah, I personally have the distinct feeling that Mr. Sharpie saw that the movie was about Barbies and concluded, aha, this is for little girls and their moms, and went into it with that mindset and simply didn't recalculate on, oh, no, that's not who this the target audience is. The target audience is, frankly, millennials and Gen X. That, I think, is the target audience.
Right. So, real quick, TLDR, for those of you who don't know, because there are some people who don't know, the Barbie movie was directed by Greta Gerwig, and you might know Greta Gerwig from the direction of the Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson and the guy that played Kylo Ren in the Star Wars movie, whose name I always forget.
Oh, Adam Driver?
Let's say that's true. I'll edit it in post.
We'll have it on screen if I remembered the name incorrectly.
Now, Greta Gerwig has been known to make, and I will be completely blunt, she either makes hit or miss movies. The Marriage Story movie was a hit, and it hit people hard, is because children who are parents of divorce that saw that movie say, no, this is how mom and dad would argue all the time. People who went through divorces were like, yeah, no, this is how we argued all the time. It was a movie that was just very much a microscope of divorce.
Mm-hmm. Microcosm.
Yeah. Either way.
Yep.
So the Barbie movie is a hit for two reasons. One, it is a movie about a toy line that's been in production since the fucking 60s, my guys. It's not supposed to it's not supposed to make you wig out about it. But because it is about a toy company, that means the second part of this two-part thing is there is a lot of wiggle room to make a movie.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I think is a hit for the film is that, frankly, it is way over the top, and that's exactly what they were trying to do.
Right.
It's not a film where it's like, oh, this is over the top and that wasn't what they were trying to do, and so it's a little cringe. Like, this was no, this is way over the top, and that is exactly what they were aiming for.
If you guys don't understand, another YouTuber by the names of James Somerton explains the campy benefit of the Barbie movie, which he is correct. It's camp in the best way possible.
100% agree, yeah.
And here's the thing.
I haven't...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that I hadn't seen Somerton's review, but yeah, that description, perfect. 100%.
And those of you who are like, well, cringy movies are bad, Cocaine Bear is cringe. A lot of people enjoyed it is because this hits that sweet spot of, this is stupid, but also like, sure, go ahead. I need something to make me laugh, even though it's technically not a comedy. Go ahead. Proceed. And amuse me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Barbie movie is good, absurd fun. Like, there is a lot of incredible silliness in it, but it is good fun to it. And that's what they're going for. And like, when that is what you are aiming for, it is awfully hard to miss.
Like, yeah, the hitbox on the "we're making it funny" is a whole wall. My guy, I promise you, it's hard to miss it when you're in a room and there's one wall that hits.
As long as you're facing the right direction, you're basically bound to hit it. And that's one of the things that I do think that they did with this film. Like, they hit the target of having a good over-the-top fun, because they weren't trying to hit for a very specific, here is exactly the amount of comedy that we're going for. Like, they were going all out. They were trying to hit everything, every beat.
Right. And
oh,
go ahead.
Ultimately, they hit they hit the absurdity on most of it.
Oh, you know what I enjoyed the most? When Ken pops out of the backseat of the car of the Barbie convertible, and then he just yanks out the roller skates that came with some Barbies, and I was like, ah, yes, my childhood. The chonkiest rollerblades ever produced. It's so much plastic. Somebody had to paint those to look like exact replicas. And those are real roller skates that they had to make look like that and also function with that look.
That is impressive to me. Like, from a design standpoint of making, they look it and they function. That to me is absolutely incredible. I also liked how many of the like articles of clothing that were worn by Barbies and Kens that were, yep, this you could buy this in the shop with a specific Barbie collection or a Ken collection.
Yeah.
That attention to detail is remarkable and really speaks to how attention to detail the team was in making the Barbie movie.
Right. Oh, but Hella and Paco, they have entire Barbie lines that they could just cheat off of. Oh, hello, annoying audience member. You have been a thorn in our side for a couple weeks now. To the rest of the audience, this is an annoying audience member. I made them specifically to say stupid things out loud, so we have a jumping off base.
Welcome to the show.
And you are correct, audience member, annoying as you may be. Yes, Greta Gerwig and the entire production team literally had 60 plus. They've had the entire run of the Barbie franchise, before it was even the movie, to literally model things after. But there is a difference. Whereas you can mix and match Barbie's clothing with all the other Barbies, it is substantially harder to mix and match all of Barbie's clothing onto human figurines that are not missing 2 ribs.
And the other challenge in doing that is one of, you want to get it right. Like, you don't want to be trying to replicate the clothing and accessories of Barbies and Kens, and then not having the details right. Because you know, movie audiences, with their obsession, they will notice when you're getting things wrong.
Right. And besides that, it's like, yes, Greta Gerwig had an easier time making 99% of her movie sets and everything is because they literally just use Barbie playsets for it. But Barbie playsets cannot be translated to be big enough for a human person to wander around in. So they would have to actually have to talk to actual IRL architects and be like, can you make this but bigger?
Yeah. And it's something that you may have to make some adjustments on for the sake of making it usable by, people. But getting that replicating something identically, or at least replicating the feel of something, like, that is a real challenge. And that's something that they did a remarkably good job of in this film. And again, like, it shows the dedication and passion that the team had in making the movie.
Mm-hmm. And we could gush all day about the Barbie movie, I know we could, but there's a reason why I opened up with such a snarky comment, is because pretty privilege is a thing, and that does actually become a factor in the movie, amazingly enough that they tackled spectacularly.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really like about the film, is that while, yes, it is way over the top, and being way over the top was the thing that they were trying to do, yes, it's all good, absurd fun, it nevertheless carries a through line of an important societal critique.
Correct. And that critique is this, right? Pretty people have what is known to us in the modern vernacular as pretty people privilege, which is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. Because if you are basically perceived as being aesthetically appealing to the greater masser audiences, you are considered pretty, and pretty people are perceived as smarter, funnier, more sociable, healthier, and successful. Even though that is not at all true, there are plenty of what we consider non-pretty people who are probably outrageously more healthy, smarter, funnier, and sociable than the socially acceptable veneer that we want to see.
Agreed.
On top of that, there are plenty of people that fall into weird, subdivisions of it. There are some women, myself included, we have a guy jawline, but the rest of it is femme, so it doesn't quite match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On the other side, there are some guys who have a super femme everything, but they're guys. Down to the marrow, they're guys. Because, believe it or not, human beings are complex, weird little creatures that can't fit into boxes. Except for Steve. Steve can contort himself into a box, but Steve's a weirdo. You know who you
I
are.
was gonna say, Steve is a contortionist. That's a little unfair.
Yeah, Steve's a weirdo. We don't count Steve, but we have to count Steve. He can literally fit himself into a box, but not be fit into a box. Savvy?
I know which boxes we're talking about. I'm a cat.
But yeah. Now here's the thing, right? I personally think, myself, I think I look really nice. But I can also admit, the everyday societal norm that people want to see as pretty, I don't hit that marker. And I'm fine not hitting that marker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, like, especially as, I've been getting older, as someone that is male-bodied, like, I recognize that my, looks are not what society would say is the most attractive, but I am comfortable I am broadly, well, at least broadly comfortable with my appearance. Like, it is this is who I am, and I don't care about what society's standards are when they're applying them at me.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to fit into a box, but for whatever reason, people like it when you do. I hate to break this to you, but most things are a spectrum. Damn you, spectrums. Ever since Newton discovered you, we keep coming back to you.
Well, it's that is one of the things that I have talked about before, is that we humans, we love putting everything into boxes, including each other. And sometimes we, in that endeavor of putting people into boxes, we don't have enough of them because of that spectrum thing. Like, the reality is that no, we can't just put people into boxes. There's too much diversity. There's too much range to be covered. We could never have enough boxes to actually describe the full range of what humanity has to offer, or any of the other things that we're trying to put into boxes.
Which is why it is equal parts funny and sad that the Barbie movie actually does a pretty good job of trying to explain to you, Barbie's been around long enough, she literally has enough boxes to put all of these people in, along with their respective Kens.
Yep. But there again, it also is illustrating, on some level, the folly of putting Barbie into those boxes, because it limits the range of what Barbie can actually do. It doesn't matter how many boxes they lay out, it still is actually limiting of what Barbie or of what Ken can be.
That's true. Oh, I guess I should explain that. So in recent years, the Barbie line, or I guess I should say most toy lines, specifically with dolls, have actually started to expand their range, instead of it all just being the same carbon copy mold for every single girl doll with maybe a little bit variations on the face. Dolls are now designed differently. One doll is very tall and skinny, another doll is very short with curves, another doll is just straight up bulky, like they play sports. They now are in the habit, and it's a good habit to get into, of making different body shapes for all of the dolls. So the clothes no longer can fit across all of the different toys you can buy, but you now have all these different toys you can buy.
A diversity of shapes and sizes that is more reflective of, reality.
Correct.
Where people are different shapes and sizes.
Right. Barbie doll lines have also started to incorporate disabled Barbies. There are some Barbies who have hearing aids, there are some Barbies who have crutches, there are some Barbies who need to be put into wheelchairs. There are some Barbies, I have been told, that are blind, which I'm like, alright, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are we getting everything? Nope, but we're hitting most of the broad strokes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and I think that this strategy is absolutely great in terms of getting more representation out in the toys that children are playing with, or that adults are collecting, because that's also a thing that adults do.
As somebody who collects the one-of-a-kind dolls that people make on the internet, I have got 6 in total. Those people are wild. The people who do one-of-a-kind dolls that they just completely rework them and, like, construct them differently and put them in new clothes and everything. It's amazing what they can do. Because the factory paint is god-awful easy to remove. Even as a kid, you just start chipping it with your thumb. They actually are just like, we're going to take 100% acetone and a cotton ball and just drown her for a minute in the cotton ball. Ma'am.
It's like, okay, oh, we're going this route. Okay. Very well.
And then they put it back up to the camera and it's like a perfect, like, copy, and you're like, huh. I don't know how I feel about basically drowning somebody in 100% acetone, even though it's not a living person. It's person-shaped.
Yeah.
Which that is a thing I found out watching my nieces and nephews play with their toys with their friends. One of my nieces has a little friend who only can play with stuffed animals because she has a fear of people-shaped things.
Oh, fascinating.
Right, and I was like, what a wild phobia to have. But okay, I'm scared of needles, whatever. Chick, here, please, all the stuffed animals for your enjoyment.
Yeah, I myself have a phobia of holes that are in things.
Oh, man.
I don't remember what the phobia is called off the top of my head.
Tetraphobia.
But, yeah. Yeah.
Teratophobia?
Yeah.
I'll just put it in when I'm editing.
Okay. Yeah, it's like lots of holes all together, like close together in something. Yeah, that really weirds me out. Can't do it.
That's okay. That's like I didn't know my homeboy Jason had a fear of the ocean until literally yesterday. I was like, we live in a landlocked state. How are you scared of water? And he was like, just the idea of it scares me. And I was like, huh. Is it just the idea of how deep it is? And he's like, I can't explain it. I had to look it up. Yes, the mind cannot comprehend how deep the ocean is. The fear comes from the unknown of the water. And I was like, it must be really hard for you to go swimming in public swimming pools after a certain point.
That's one where I have maybe because you can see the bottom of the swimming pool, that alleviates the fear, because, well, I can see the bottom.
No, he said that. He goes, no, I can be in pools. I was like, but you can't be in ocean? It was a weird conversation to have. And
Yeah, and like it is interesting to me, like the phobias that we have that are reasonably common, like my fear of holes and things, like that is something that is cross-cultural. Like many people have that fear of ocean, like that is cross-cultural. Many people have it. Spiders, snakes, high places, like those are things that tend to be across many different societies, and I find that very fascinating. What is it that this seems to be like you have rolled the dice on this one, and it shows up no matter what societal upbringing you had.
I like to think that fear is transferred through bloodlines. Somehow, some way, the fear has stayed.
That's something where I don't know if that's literally true, but it is something that there may be something genetic to it.
Right? It's like, is my philosophy of it must be handed down through bloodlines that is passed to you? Is that true? No, but it is a conspiracy theory that literally holds enough weight that some people are probably like, everything else gets passed down in bloodlines, why not?
It's like, well, it's the kind of conspiracy where I go, you know what? I'm gonna dust off the tinfoil hat and just put that right on.
We haven't worn this in a long time. It's an older meme, sir, but it checks out.
But it checks out. Well, and I love using that reference when like I have a look. I have no evidence of this. I'm just gonna tinfoil hat it. I'm gonna wear my tinfoil hat on this one to acknowledge that I have no evidence. This is kind of a conspiracy, but I'm rolling with it anyway. Let's go.
While we're on the subject of conspiracy theories, no, the Barbie movie was not designed to completely start destroying relationships, marriages, and call into question the relationship between men and women. You guys are looking way too deep into it.
Yeah, it was like that was not the intent. If it had that effect, it was probably because there were other problems.
Literally, my guys, I promise you, it wasn't even a cereal spoon deep. And you guys are acting like it's drowning you. Please, I beg of you. Media literacy is a thing. I think we need to relearn it.
Yeah. Thank you for getting us back on topic, Hella. It's one of the things that I love about our tea times, though. We're just gonna take this hard left turn into a completely different topic, and we are hard right back on track.
I like to say this about people. It's like, listen, I promise you, I'm going to tangent a bunch of different times, but the tangent's just gonna look like if you see a pigeon walking around in the snow like it's taking a phone call. We'll get back to the original set. Trust me.
We'll get there. We got it. And one of the other things that, in terms of the serious message of the film, like the lengthy speech monologue, however you want to portray, like whatever word you want to use to describe it, that the mother character,
Vanessa Hudgens.
yeah, thank you, that she had of the literally impossible to be a woman, and then describing all of the contradictions that society has of what a woman should be to be successful as a woman.
You gotta
Like that message, I have a, this is a really solid critique.
Well, right? It's like, you gotta be smart, but not too smart. You gotta be funny, but not too funny. You gotta be pretty, but not that pretty that it's, like, demeaning to other women and not attracting other men other than the person you particularly want to attract. You have to be able to have a bunch of kids, but not gain any weight. That is literally an impossibility.
Yeah. And etc., etc., etc. Like, there are all of these contradictory standards. And, like, I will note that it's not like men get off scot-free. Like, there are plenty of contradictory standards for men as well. But it's not even in the same ballpark as what society has for women. Especially women historically.
Right? So what are the guys' critiques? Oh, we're gonna hand you this Chinese takeout menu of your critiques. Awesome. What am I getting? Oh, thank you so much for asking, Susie. Here's volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. When you're done with that, 5 through 9 will be available. Jesus Christ, why do I have so much to do? Because you were born femme.
Congratulations.
Oh. Oh.
And, like, because it's one of the things that I think a lot of people may have missed in that critique that was being presented of the literally impossible to be a woman and just the overall dynamic of the Kens taking over. Like, this is not a condemnation of men. This is a condemnation of the patriarchy.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And the patriarchy has negative impacts for both men and women. Now, obviously, in that system, like, men are presumed to be at the top of the pyramid, so, like, there is power and privilege that comes with that. But there is also a lot of expectations in terms of being successful as a man that are problematic for men. The most notable one to me that comes off from off the top of my head is the lack of emotional intimacy for men.
Ooh, that's true.
Like, when it comes to the expectations of the patriarchy, historically, it's men, you don't show emotion. And like, this is so damaging when it comes to the well-being of men in broader society, because showing emotion is like an innate human need. It's a thing that we have to do. But because we tell men through the patriarchy that no, like, to be a man, you need to not show weakness being like emotion, it leads to a lot of men, frankly, the only emotion that they're allowed to show is anger. And that's not great. That leads to a lot of unhealthy things, not just for like other people, but for men themselves. And another thing that ties into is one of society does give like a caveat on, okay, men, you're allowed to show weakness to like your partner. But then that becomes one of those unfair expectations on women of like, okay, by the way, once you do like have a man in your life, be ready to be the emotional support person for your guy, because as far as society is concerned, they're not allowed to go to anyone else without it coming across as weak. And that's just one of the things off the top of my head in terms of like how the patriarchy is not good for men. We often tend to think of the patriarchy as being like men are the beneficiaries of the system. And on one level that is true, but on a much greater level, it's no, everyone loses, both men and women.
Yeah. Well, I like to point this out to people because some people think that I'm bullshitting them, and it's not. Animals don't cry. Not to say that they cannot shed tears, but animals don't cry like how people cry. Crying, like emotional sobbing, like when you've had a really rough day, that's a uniquely human trait, and that is a trait we have developed to indicate to other humans, I am hurt and I need help. Mm-hmm. And yet somehow, some way, we're just going to blame Steve because he's in the box, he can't hear us. We've got it into our minds of don't cry. Don't cry. You don't cry because you're a guy. You're not supposed to be emotional. You're a woman. Stop crying. You're being hysterical. You need to cry. Your body needs that. It's the emotional pressure valve. When everything is too much, open the floodgates. It's that way your brain can be like, okay, we had a good cry. We can now logically piece together what the next steps are going to be.
It is a physical response to allow a release of emotion. There is nothing wrong with it.
Nope. Yeah, and also because of this weird new fucking rules of don't show emotion, anger has now been turned into a negative emotion, and it's literally, guys, you are allowed to be angry. You're supposed to be angry at stuff. You're just not supposed to take your anger out on people or things that don't deserve it. If you're mad at yourself, be mad at yourself, but don't be so mean to yourself that you start to hate yourself. Scream it out into like a pillow or something. Watch bad movies and yell at the actors. Do something. Allow yourself to be mad, because once the anger is gone, it'll be like, wonderful, thank you so much. If you could sign here and here for the paperwork, and then, reflection will come around, and then you can give me my review. Bye.
Yeah, anger, like, anger is an emotion that it often is saying something. Like, if you're angry, it at least when we have like a healthy range of emotion and not all of our emotions are getting translated into anger, because that's the one emotion that you're allowed to allowed to express, men. Like, that emotion has utility for you. It's telling you something. Now, obviously, there are limits in terms of how that anger should be expressed, especially expressed towards other people. But the emotion itself, totally good, totally valid, absolutely a-okay. Something that is very human and very okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, I have a 3-year-old nephew. He's turning 4 soon. We're super excited about it. We have a whole birthday planned. Anyway,
Heyo.
he is still currently 3 at time of this recording, so by the time this video goes up, he'll have already turned 4. But for the sake of what I'm trying to get to, he is 3. He's still in the toddler years. He can kind of hold a conversation because we don't talk to him like he's a baby, but also when he starts to throw his temper tantrums, which is exactly what they are, we let him have them. We let him scream and cry and throw a fit. Because it's good. Like, you're upset about something. You just don't have the words to express what it is. He calls it his big emotions. Which is fair, right? Like, to him, they are big emotions. You don't have words for this. But once the big emotions are done...
No! You know what? That's it. I'm done. I quit. I give up. I tried. I really tried.
He kind of is like, I was mad. About what? Because you weren't listening. Oh, what was I not listening to? I wanted gummy worms. We don't have gummy worms, bud. That makes me more mad. Why don't we have gummy worms? Very, very simple, right? Simple, altruistic, childish things that go with it. But it was his anger, and he had a right to it.
And it's also one of those things, especially with young children, to keep in mind that, like, they don't have that many years under their belt.
Yeah.
Some of these things that we consider like what a very simple, inconsequential thing, may be on the worst things that could possibly happen to them.
Right. Like, I am an adult. If I go to a fair and I lose the balloon I had just gotten for free from the clown, I'm gonna be like, oh, that sucks, and go get another one. If a little kid loses that balloon that's free, they don't understand concepts of free or it will never happen again. That is the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Their precious balloon is gone. You've done nothing to alleviate this sadness. We can just go get another one. But it's not my balloon, mother. You have wronged me. Explain how. They don't understand, and it's okay that they don't understand.
Yeah. And I think that is a good thing that you pointed out there, that also brain development-wise, they don't necessarily have the mental capacity for some of these more complex connections.
No, they...
But also, like, losing your balloon,
when you're...
that may be the worst thing that they can remember experiencing.
Yeah. It's not to say that they're dumb, it's just little kids are smart. But their brain hasn't caught up to that yet. So from the ages of, like, new to, like, 9, 10, it's all emotion-based. And then once you get to 10, your body's like, okay, so we installed all this new stuff, that still has to finish developing over there, so it's a locked content until we're done with it. But have fun with all this new stuff.
We are still, it's kind of we are still uploading the new software, but as we're doing that, you will slowly get access to new things.
What does this button do? Ooh, this is called voice cracking. What is voice cracking? Ooh, boy. It's where your voice begins to change. Oh, that sounds cool. It's not. You're gonna hate it the first time you do it.
It's like this is the new voice software, but be forewarned, it does not enter in all at once.
No,
That also is is a downloaded process that you will be using over time.
what is my internet speed in this body? 2. Oh, like 2 megabits? 2. Oh,
What is it measuring? Can't tell you.
what can you tell me? Your body does 99% of everything it needs to do without your knowledge or consent.
It just does.
You might be the thing that, like, sits in the big boss office chair, but also your body is aware you are an idiot running this business. We don't tell you anything.
Oh, bother. I don't know how to run a business. Oh.
I have no idea if those sounds are going to get picked up by the recording or not. I really hope that they
I
do.
hope they do. If not, I'll just shove them in.
There you go.
But no, and I think that's the reason why the Barbie movie also works, is because Barbie in this is a metaphor for a changing of adulthood and childhood. One of these you leave behind. You can still go into the childhood world as an adult, but it's changed. You remember this world, right? I played in this world, but you don't you don't understand it anymore. You've forgotten all of it.
Well, and I wouldn't characterize it myself as being forgotten, more as like you have new knowledge. And because of that new knowledge, like growing up, becoming an adult, like it's you can't go back to the way that things were when life was simpler. Like, you can remember it, but you can't go back to it.
Yeah.
There's a line that a buddy of mine in high school and I used to jokingly say to each other of, life was so much simpler when we were stupid. Now, obviously, like, being young, it wasn't that we were literally stupid, but it was being young, we did not yet have access to the full range of
All of it.
emotional intelligence. Oh, what were you saying,
Just
Helen?
all of it. We don't have access to all of it.
Yeah. We're still unlocking all of the brain content. And in that process of maturing, of becoming teens, of becoming adults, like, you get access to a whole lot of new brain space, a whole lot of new concepts, a whole lot of new experiences that, yeah, the simple life of childhood that was so black and white and so understandable, like, it's oh, well, that was a lie. That's not actually how the world works.
Nope.
I liked how that world worked because it was simple, it was easy to understand, but that wasn't the reality of the thing.
Yeah?
And going back to the Barbie movie, like, I think that was a thing that the movie portrays reasonably well in the analog of our main Barbie, played by Margaret Robbie, flat feet, needs to go to the real world.
Yeah, and it is a funny scene when she tells the other Barbies, my feet are touching the ground. You can see they're confused when she says it, because as far as they're concerned, yeah, this one little section of all of our feet always touch the ground, and when she shows them, no, my whole foot can touch the ground, it's why they freak out, is because we didn't know you could do that.
Well, it's a thing of, like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Something has gone wrong.
Right, you gotta go talk to Creepy Barbie. Creepy Barbie? She knows things. That's why her hair is pulled out. She's full of secrets.
And why there are colors.
Right, which is a really good analogy, right? Creepy Barbie isn't creepy. Creepy Barbie is a Barbie doll who has been well loved. That's how I took it, right? Dolls
Yeah.
that are well loved tend to get the stuffing beat out of them. Because it's a lot. They go through a lot. She is a well-loved Barbie. A Barbie doll that has gone through all of it. So she has grown up with her respective person. And that respective person probably doesn't remember all the goofy stuff that she did to the Barbie doll, but I'm sure if she ever found it, she'd be like, oh my god, I was so mean to this doll.
But it's also but it was fun. At least presumably.
Yeah.
And on some level, like, all of us in growing up become weird Barbie.
I've seen too much. I know too much.
At the very least, that is the direction that I hope that we all take as people. Is as we become older, as we become adults, that we embrace the weirdness. Because that's reflective of reality. Reality is weird.
Yeah, like...
Society is weird.
Okay, have you seen on Tumblr that post where it's one person that's like, can you explain how you would explain DNA to children? And they go into this long speech about Legos, and that person that's interviewing them goes, that was remarkably comprehensible, you're really good at this. And that person's response at the end of that Tumblr post was, thanks, I like Legos and science.
I haven't run across that particular post, but that does sound like the epitome of a Tumblr user.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's like, that person is so confident in what they're saying that it doesn't matter that they like science and Legos. Lots of people like science and Legos, or Legos and Barbie dolls, or Legos and Minecraft, which is just digital Legos. I know what I said.
And it's lots of adults like science and Legos.
Right.
And lots of adults like adult thing and child thing. Or at least thing that was initially aimed at children.
Now, we could talk about how sometimes that has a negative side effect. Please see the My Little Pony fandom. But most of the time, the adults that hang out because they still enjoy insert childish thing here, they're enjoying it for their own purposes. And when they come across a kid who also enjoys it, they talk to them like they're talking to somebody else who also enjoys the thing. Most adults, when the kid tries to, I want to be friends. Oh, no, that's okay. No, that's okay. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Like, I myself, it's been a little while at this point, but, like, I play, well, I should have been that statement. It's been a little while participating IRL. Mm-hmm. Magic the Gathering.
Oh, so many kids.
There is a specific group that I have played with that is dads and their kids.
Oh, well, what better way to get, right? It's like, I'm teaching them something I like. If they don't like it when they're older, they'll stop playing. But this is a bonding experience over something I know.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've really enjoyed about playing with that group, as someone that, like, I don't have any kids myself, but when I go over there, like, I can resonate a lot with the kids that are playing, who range in age roughly from, like, 12 to 16, more or less. Mm-hmm. Because we have Magic the Gathering as a thing that we both know and understand.
Right.
Like, that is the thing that we are bonding over, is the originally aimed at children game. Or at least, like, older children, young adults.
Right. Well, that's just like me and my homegirl, right? She loves to play Call of Duty. I play with her because we're friends. I don't particularly like the game. I just follow her around and throw her ammo, and usually we win.
Yep.
Usually we win, because, like, I'm not hitting anything. I tried.
It's like, I don't need to shoot things. I just need to make sure that my friend has enough ammunition to shoot things.
Correct. At one point, right, we were having a grand old time. It was just the two of us. We ended up getting into a lobby with 2 or 3 little boys, right? And you could hear that they were young. And they came in
Yeah.
because we have guy names as our usernames, right? On purpose. So they came in trying to act all big and tough, and immediately, because my friend has children, she was like, "You kiss your mother with that mouth?" Immediately, "Oh, these are girls." Yeah. They dropped that entire little tough guy persona, and they started acting like kids. And I was like, this is a really good example. When they think they have to act a certain way, they try to take on the persona they perceive will get them respect. The second they find the adults in the section that don't give a fuck about that perception, they drop it, because it's exhausting.
Yep. And this is another one of those things of, like, how the patriarchy is damaging to men. Or in this case, young boys. Because they're trying to put on that tough persona, because that's what, like, the societal pressure pushes on to young boys and men. Like, you need to be tough, you need to be this, you need to present in this way.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable how quick that gets dropped when they get the go-ahead of, like, no, you can be goofy. Like, being goofy and silly is totally fine. Like, that's the cool thing to do.
Oh no, because I remember after they got in, we lost the first game, and me and her already were just... We had been winning and losing in equal measure, but we had lost spectacularly, because I don't even know how I got hit. Like, watching the playback, this guy was nowhere near any of us. He sniper rifled me from around a corner and magically hit me. We ended up laughing, and the boys were confused. They were like, "Aren't you mad you lost?" We were like, "It's a game." It's a game. This is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to laugh, and it's making you upset. You need to just, like, log out of the game for a little bit and go do something you do like. They acted like they had never been told this great, grand, universal secret, which I thought everybody knew. If it's making you upset, stop playing it, go do something else.
Yeah. It's like, it turns out, you don't have to do the thing.
Right. They ended up hanging out with us until I had to go to bed, which was like 6 hours later. And they were like, "This was really fun." And they were like, "Can we be friends?" And me and her were private messaging each other because we were in our 20s. These kids were maybe 11. And she was like, "As long as it's just to play games on here, yeah, sure." And that's all we do, right? We're still friends with these kids. They're grown up now. But they sometimes say that it's like, we're the most calm people in our group whenever we have to play with the guys. Like, they don't understand that when we're done with the game, we're just gonna go do something else. And I was like, "Oh, I'm really proud of you guys. What do you do?" And one guy was like, "I took up knitting." I was like, "Oh, that's hard." He goes, "Not really. Once you get into a rhythm," he goes, "I got a bunch of Christmas gifts done one year because I disassociated hard." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that actually reminds me of a thing from when I was in middle school. The school that I was in on had 2 different schedules: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All of the class periods were a little shorter because there was an extra class period that was called exploratory class, and every quarter you chose a different exploratory class, and those could be ranging from, like, the relatively silly of, like, or at least non-school oriented of, like, fantasy football. Like, and this was before fantasy football was a thing, like a big societal thing. To actual, like, you're learning something like World War II, and one of the years, one of the things was crochet. And one of my friends, male-bodied friend, took that class because he misread it and thought it was croquet.
Isn't this where you throw the ball? This is where you do needlework.
And when it was, like, when his mom saw the schedule and was like, "Oh, I'm surprised that you decided to take this course," and like, and he was then corrected of this is a crochet class, the thing with the needles. He burst out laughing. Like, his reaction was just one of, this is so funny. I'm gonna be the only guy in the class.
I'm sure the girls didn't care. It's like, whatever, man, you picked the class.
Yep. And he was right. He was the only guy in the class. And yes, a number of classmates would tease him about that. Guys. Almost always. And his response was always the same. I'm in a class with a bunch of girls. I'm the only guy in a class with a bunch of girls.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, it was kind of I'm winning, what you want.
Well, that's also the thing, too, right? Going off of that for, like, the Barbie movie, it's like, all of the Kens basically live in a girl universe, right? Because Barbies obviously outrank Kens as far as production value for the toys, so there's probably more Barbies than there are Kens. But those Kens that come with their respective Barbies, they're more than happy to follow her around doing whatever goofy shit she's doing, because I just came to have fun. I didn't care about anything else. I'm with her. I like being with her.
Well, and it's also one of the things that in portraying of that Barbie universe that, like, that is also a critique of the patriarchy. Like, it's the Kens didn't really choose this. Not that the Barbies really got much of a choice either, but within that universe, like, the Barbies are at the top of the pyramid. And one of the things that I think got missed by a lot of people at the end of the film, when, like, they're reestablishing the previous order, but, like, oh, we're, like, don't worry, Kens, we're gonna uplift you, like, we're gonna give you this lower court seat, we're gonna do some things. That wasn't meant, like, as a serious, this actually resolves the problem. Like, it's a critique of how in our real world society, we, as a broader society, seem to have this idea of, hey, we put a black guy in the presidency. Racism has been solved. We have solved the problem. We have a woman who is on the Supreme Court. We have solved the patriarchy. We have solved sexism. Like, that's what that scene in the Barbie movie is, in my opinion, not that subtly pointing to. In, like, yeah, the Barbie society went back to the way it was with we understand the Kens now. We're going to show them respect by giving them one seat on a lower court.
Yeah.
And I think that lampshade should have been, like, it should be pretty recognized in the narration saying, and someday maybe the Kens will have as much equality as women have in the real world, or some, like, however the line was phrased. Like it's this is a jab not at now the Barbie universe is perfect. It's a jab of the Barbie universe still isn't perfect. Just like our real world is not perfect. We still have a ways to go to have true equality.
Well, true, and also in the Barbie movie, it does show you, it's like, when the Barbies are in charge, some of the Kens are not happy. Just straight up, they're not.
Yeah.
In the reverse, when the Kens are in charge, some of the Barbies aren't happy either. It's a critique of, if only one group is in charge, the other group is gonna feel slighted.
Yeah. Agreed. Yep.
It sounds like you're just trying to be an anarchist, Hella. Oh, hello, annoying audience member, we thought you left.
Well, it is... It's like, it's not necessarily anarchy, but it is like we need to continue to make society more equal.
And not all equality looks the same all across the board.
Yeah.
I think that's what trips people up.
Yeah. Well, and it's also something that on some level it is unachievable in the sense of like perfect equality, but that doesn't mean that we don't try, and it doesn't mean that we don't continue to strive towards it. Because we may never reach utopia, but like that's the direction that we always want to be moving in.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
And as of late, for whatever reason, we have decided to throw the bitch in reverse. I don't know where we're going, but drive is like 2 more clicks down. Please step onward going forward, not backwards.
Yeah, would be nice. I'll see what I can do.
There's no point worried about things you can't fix. There's no point worried about things you can't fix. Thinking too much is like thinking about nothing, like water in the desert trying to make the plants grow. You're wasting precious brain space and it's your scratchy stuff when you should be filling it with sugar cookie dough. When you're feeling unhappy, don't think. When you're feeling kind of sad, don't think. Cause there's no point in thinking about the things that you're thinking about if things that you're thinking about are making thinking rough. And that's how saunas stay so happy.
But yeah, the Barbie movie, I went into it expecting a C, I got an A, and I was pleasantly happy with it. And everybody that has these negative critiques, what movie did you watch? I'm so curious.
Indeed. And like I have this movie was over the top, which was what I was expecting, and the saliency of its critiques along with being over the top, frankly, they weren't that subtle, and I mean, like, they too were often over the top, but like they're like good. I like it. Well done.
There are worse movies.
I'm not sure how so many people miss the message, but you know, be that as it may. Highly recommend Barbie movie. See it at least once.
And please do not be like Ben Sharpie and give the most out-of-pocket left critique that nobody wanted to hear.
Yeah, or in his case, out-of-pocket right critique.
Yeah. Would this be out-of-pocket left? Not really. I feel like my channel sits nowhere, actually. It sits in the void. I like to think that we were in a pocket, but maybe a left critique. Nice. Is there anything else that we have to touch on? I'm trying to think.
I think that we have hit all of the highlights.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you so much, Paco, for coming to Tea Time again.
Yeah, thank you for having me back. It has been missed.
It has been. Okay, losers, that's not fair. Okay, you intellectuals, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Later.